I guess this is a fight now. I never used to fight this much, till I met you.
Did Lady Arabelle send you? Look, I think I found her. When I got to the shoals... When I got to the shoals and saw all those sea elf pirates and hadalids, I quickly sent a message to Lady Arabelle requesting assistance. But I was able to sneak over here, and that is when I spotted her. The sea has returned her back to me. My ship, the Kamal's Bane. Oh, I thought I lost her forever. She washed ashore on the shoals, thank the Hist. It took me some time to reach this spot without being detected, but now that you're here, we can see what remains of my vessel. She will never sail again, but at least it will be good to see her one last time. And perhaps we can find some indication of what happened to my passenger, Prince Ernskar of Windhelm. You check the hull, and I will search among the wreckage. Be careful.
They're coming for us. You know, I like to think I'm agreeable. Stay back. I can still fight.
Isleen! Friend, this is my bosun. There is none finer.
Captain, sein Kain, it's you.
Isleen was responsible for maintaining my vessel. She can be trusted. Talk to her while I tend to her injuries.
I didn't think anyone would come for me. But if you're with the captain, please. It's Prince Ernskar. We have to help him. I'd be dead if it wasn't for the prince. Not exactly. After that strange storm swept in and the ship hit the rocks, we were struggling to get to the small boats. A wave hit me and I thought that was the end. But Prince Ernskar lifted me up, tossed me in the boat and shoved it away. The Kamal's Bane started to break apart. The storm pushed us into the straits and the current was dragging most of the ship toward Amanos. I stayed in the small boat as long as I could. Then I leaped into this piece of the wreckage and landed here. The last I saw, he was alive and clinging to the part of the ship floating toward Amanos. Even through the storm, I could hear others in the water, but the winds were sending the wreckage in all directions. You need to go find Prince Ernskar.
Return to the manor. Lady Arabelle must know of this. I'll return as soon as Isleen can travel.
Stranger, those stockade ruffians hauled away my husband. Can you help me? Stranger, those stockade ruffians hauled away my husband. Can you help me?
Anyway.
Friend, Lady Arabelle is waiting for you upstairs.
Another one of my favorite associates, back safe and sound. And were you successful? Did Captain Suzo find anything important at the shoals? Well, that corroborates what the Dockmaster told you. If Prince Ernskar is still alive and made it to Amanos, perhaps the other Alliance leaders did as well. Of course, that doesn't mean they're safe. Only a small part of the island is hospitable, and Amanos Station is barely that. The rest of the island is... House Menard controls Amanos, but they restrict their oversight to Amanos Station and the prison stockade. They leave the jungle to the prisoners. Either the royals washed ashore in the jungle, or the Menards are keeping their arrival secret. Soon, my dear. First, prepare yourself while I finish making the needed arrangements. We'll head to Amanos in due time. For now, remember all we have learned thanks to your efforts. Take this as payment. You more than earned every gold piece. I hoped that by investigating the Ascendant Order, we'd uncover a clue as to how to find the missing Alliance leaders. Now we have it on good authority that they may be on Amanos. From the cookpot to the campfire, as my great-aunt Ailes used to say. It's just a saying, dear. As you're still on retainer, I'd like you to spearhead our rescue efforts. Jakan will go with you to the island, then you'll split up to search for the royals. It's risky, but there's a lot of ground to cover. Aboard a prison ship. They sail for Amanos regularly from the Dufort docks. We'll be contracting the services of a Captain Basrush. She's a dear friend. Jakan and I will meet you there after I finish briefing Captain Colleen and the others. While you head to the Dufort docks, I'll discuss our plan with the Alliance captains. We'll need them for this to succeed. Captain Basrush will get you to the island safely. I know for a fact she can't refuse a purse full of gold. Captains Colleen, Suzo, and Zaji have been procuring ships just for that purpose. The waters around Amanos are treacherous, but I have faith in their skills. I wish I could send more agents to help you, but I prefer to keep a low profile. For the same reason you're traveling by prison ship, so as not to alarm House Menard. We still don't know the extent of their involvement, or if they're making their own play against Emmerich and the others. Anything else, dear, or can we get moving? Oh, Basrush is delightful. You'll get along with her smashingly. We met when she was a smuggler operating along the Sentinel coast. Now she runs under a charter from House Menard, ferrying prisoners and supplies to Amanos Station. Goodness, no. It served as a haven for pirates and smugglers once, before the Empire decided it was a perfect place to dump its undesirables. Political prisoners, prisoners of war, rival nobles. Emmerich continues the practice to the current day. The entire archipelago sits atop the bones of an ancient volcano. Sheer cliffs, jagged reefs, and dangerous currents make Amanos a perfect site for a prison. The only safe landing on the isle is the dock at Amanos Station. I suppose you can call it that. It serves the nearby prison stockade, though the worst offenders are banished to the jungle. The Empire used to send prisoners to Amanos, and it still is a dumping ground for people the authorities want to disappear. They do something to the prisoners. They call it processing. Once that occurs, they can only survive in the Amanos jungle. They go anywhere else, they die. At least that's what they tell them. So yes, the jungle belongs to the prison gangs. It's a closely guarded secret, I'm afraid. When prisoners are selected for banishment, they undergo some sort of magical or alchemical treatment. After that, they can only survive in the jungle. Is it true? Does it matter? The prisoners believe it. House Menard runs the prison stockade for the Daggerfall Crown. They profit off the prisoner exchanges, the mines in the jungle, other prisoner labor. And they maintain Amanos Station, the only true civilization on the entire island. Sometimes I lose track of days myself, dear. Lord Bacaro hired me to provide security for the upcoming peace talks. I oversaw the arrangements to get the Alliance leaders to High Isle safely. Unfortunately, the Ascendant Order uncovered those plans. Precisely. These bandit knights tried to kill High King Emmerich, Queen Irene, and Prince Ernskar, but the Magus lost control of his spell. Thanks to you, we now believe the leaders are on the island of Amanos. We're going to rescue them, my dear.
Wait, what? The prison island? Shouldn't I get a say in this?
Oh, I know you can't stand to be left out of the action. Think of the stories you can tell of your daring escape.
Well, that's true. I guess I'm easy to read.
Like a book, dear.
go!
Sorry, Lady Arabelle, I couldn't find any of the volumes on your list at my last port.
No time for books today, my darling. My friend has a favor to ask, so play nicely.
Good health to you, Wayfarer. I'm the captain of the Shackled Guar. Now tell me, what grand adventure has Lady Arabelle drafted you into, and what does it have to do with me? Talk. Oh? And I suppose she's offering her usual pouch of gold and the promise of an evening's company at her manor? Ha! She does know the way to this sailor's heart. If that's your port of call, who am I to argue? Just know the dangers before you step aboard my ship. If they process you in the stockade, you'll never leave Amanos alive. If you head into the jungle, beware the beasts and the gangs of banished. The gangs of prisoners who band together to survive in the jungle, they're all bad, but the green serpents are the worst. Here, for you and the pretty boy. Disguises. Put them on and try to look appropriately forlorn as you go aboard my ship. You need disguises because you want to travel aboard a prison ship, and because you want to avoid notice when we reach Amanos. So, disguises. You'll look like just two more poor bastards bound for the prison island, guaranteed. You know the lady. She picks up strays wherever she goes. Helps with her work, and she enjoys the company. The first time we met, she was supposed to arrest me for smuggling. Instead, she turned me into an operative, and we broke a much larger ring. Oh, the lady has her ways. And I could never say no to a pouch full of gold and a pretty face. Say, your face is pretty. Maybe if you survive and make it off Amanos, you can call on me. Just ask around the docks. Everyone knows old Bass Rush. The Shackled Guar is just down the pier. Move, you dirty prisoners.
You get them there, you old sea dog, and I'll get them out.
I'll do my job, Arabelle. And remember, I like pomegranate wine with my salted mutton.
All the prisoners are aboard, Captain.
2 more latecomers, Juris.
These prisoners aren't on my list.
Then add them. I'll tell you about it later.
As you say, Captain. Get aboard, you scum!
Inside, prisoner. Move!
We haven't had a real king since
Stranger,
Rancer,
the
and he was a
stockade
little bit
ruffians
crazy.
hauled away my husband.
I hope our new
Can you
ruler
help
isn't
me?
quite as warlike as the last one.
Psst. Over here.
Like my new outfit? What better way to search Amino Station than disguised as a jailer, huh? I'll see what I can learn about our missing royals here in the stockade and around town. You head to the jungle. From what I already heard, you need to hurry. Before I engaged in 2 of my 3 favorite activities, eavesdropping and thievery, I heard the jailers talking about a bounty placed by the Green Serpent's prison gang. They're offering a reward for 3 nobles that washed ashore in the jungle. What else could it be? Do you know of any other noble-born people who were lost at sea in the area? So head north and go through the big gate. That's your way into the jungle. Meanwhile, I'll see whether or not House Mornard is involved in all this. First, find the leaders. If you can't do that, find the serpents. One of them is bound to know something. I hear they have a camp northeast of the jungle gate. And take this flare. The 3 captains are circling the island waiting for your signal. Try not to let anything in the scary jungle kill you. Just head north, go through the gate, and head north some more. I hear there's a green serpent camp out that way. Hey, you got this! I mean, you probably got this. If anyone's got this, it's you. Ooh, that's hurtful. And here I thought we were friends. But let me think. Oh, there's a coin fort on the far side of the island. Steer clear of that unless you run out of other options. It's controlled by the serpents, and they're stone-cold killers. I haven't seen any signs of the Order here on Amanos. Yet. But there must be a connection, right? How else would the serpents know about the Alliance leaders if the Ascendant Order didn't tip them off? And I'll start digging around out here. Oh, and if you were wondering, I'll hop a ship back to High Isle when I'm finished. Easy enough out here in Amanos Station, as long as you don't look like one of the prisoners. After you secure the royals, find a clear beach and fire that flare.
You think the serpents were telling the truth? Freedom? If we find the lost nobles?
You know the Kaishi.
I don't care what you say. I'm heading into the jungle.
Don't be stupid, Rasa. You're safer here in the stockade.
I am a good hunter. Freedom or death?
Look at here. New meat. You've got big ears, new meat. But if you must know, word around this stockade is that the green serpents are offering a way off this rock. Something about friends in high places. You just need to find a trio of nobles supposedly wandering the jungle. What gave it away? The fact that no one gets off this rock? Or that the serpents have friends in high places? Or maybe how ridiculous it is to imagine nobles lost in the jungle. I'll tell you what I told Rasa. Going into the jungle is crazy.
Need to learn how to stay on the good side of the jailers. You don't want to get processed and banished to the jungle.
Certainly not.
Through this gate lies the jungle of Amanos.
You can never leave the
Your
jungle.
home for the rest of your miserable lives.
This one knows she can never leave the jungle. But sometimes slipping through that gate is so tempting.
Buy that armor I've been wanting.
You failed again, Lasham.
It's not my fault! They're dangerous, powerful!
I'm dangerous too, wretch. Motive, hot, kill. No! I can't! Ah! Triple the guard on the captured royals, and find the others. I promised all three to the Ascendant Magus, and I won't.
Hope I don't get stuck cleaning the order again. These doorknobs smell horrible. Like dead fish.
Mother Morrowind has her eye on you.
Hope I don't get stuck cleaning the order again.
Maybe I should have waited for an escort at Amnos Station with Mother.
Let's ride!
Another fight? Well, if you... Oh. Walker, is that you? What are you doing here? Are you a prisoner? No matter. Just seeing you makes me feel 100 times better. Sachi's alive! That's good to know. Now I can kill him for getting us wrecked as soon as I see him. When the storm hit, it was all I could do to hang on to some wreckage and make it to this beach. We're on Amenos, right? The Alliance leaders, right. I keep meaning to try to find Queen Irene, but every time I get started, more of those prison mongrels rush out of the jungle and attack me. I love a good fight as much as the next sailor, but I'm exhausted. Sure, 2 noses are better than 1. If we can pick up Queen Irene's scent, I can track her. That's sort of my specialty. The nose knows, as the kittens say. Stay close and follow me. Let's look around. If I catch a familiar scent, I can follow it. Peace conference. Is that what this is all about? Zaji received orders from the crown, probably because of our reputation as dragon slayers. And smugglers, we're good at that too. Chisbari, Sidura, and the rest stayed behind in Central because of the secrecy. They gave us royal agents to crew the Pounce. I'm not sure there are any other survivors to find. I didn't see anyone else make it to shore. We're getting off the track here. Give me a moment. Someone used this shelter recently. Their scent is fresh. Familiar. This way. This isn't the right way. Let me take a sniff. Ah. The remains of a fire. There are tracks here. This way. What have we got here? There was a fight here. What's that? On the ground. That medallion has the Queen's scent all over it. There! I have her trail. Follow me. The Queen is in danger.
This jungle is dangerous, Casca. Even your friend shouldn't be wandering about. Ariel, bless my crown, but it's good to see you, my friend. Don't tell me you got washed onto this oblivion-cursed rock, too. You have my apologies, old friend. I must smell like a 3-day dead gua right now. Ah, Lady Arabelle. I knew she wouldn't leave us to rot in this jungle. But she only sent you. Not an army or a chivalry of knights. No matter. I welcome the company. Trouncing these green serpent bastards is amusing, but I'm starting to grow weary. Ah, yes. We were together for a time, but we argued and he rushed off in a huff. I believe I know where to find him after we make some preparations for our rescue. You can signal a ship, but I can help calm the storm that hugs the coast. Never heard about my time with the Sea Elf pirates? They taught me some weather magic. Could you get what I need for the ritual? A claw from a volcanic beast, a feather, and the bones of a drowned sailor. Sadly, these beaches are thick with those. Gather the claw, a feather, and the bones, and I'll make sure the rescue ship can reach the shore safely. While you're gone, I want to take a look at Casca's wounds. She won't admit it, but I can see that she's hurt pretty badly. It was a well-planned and dastardly attack. I could sense the magical nature of the summoned storm, and none of my own arcane protections functioned. They blocked them somehow. If the storm hadn't raged out of control, I'd be dead now. Of course. I'm not an archmage, but I know my way around a spell or two. They must have had agents aboard as well, because I sensed a pulse of magicka before the storm hit. Whatever it was, the bastards rendered every enchanted item we had useless. Absolutely. Tamriel is changing and her leaders must adapt. The situation in Cyrodiil right now, I can't see a way forward. Perhaps these talks represent a solution. I'm always in favor of people sitting down to have an earnest conversation. Casca, you've been injured. Let me tend to your wounds.
Off we go!
Casper will be all right. And you have the items? Well done. While portals to and from Amanos are prohibited, I can...
I think I'm getting good.
While portals to and from Amanos are prohibited, I can teleport within the confines of the island. It just takes more effort. Interesting. Thank you for procuring these items. With them, I can clear the storm when we're ready to depart. Oh, very well, if you insist. You may not believe this, but Emmerich and I do not always see eye to eye. He's as stubborn as his throne is uncomfortable. Why the Bretons insist their king must suffer every time he sits down, I'll never understand. Here, I'll mark your map. It was just north of here. I wonder how excited you'll be when the eagle and the lion are back together again. We tend to argue. A lot. I'll catch up after I prepare the items you brought me for the ritual. Have no fear, I'll be along shortly. I just need to... Never mind, it's complicated. Magicka. Don't worry, I've got this. Go find Emmerich. It was a well-planned and dastardly attack. I could sense the magical nature of the summoned storm, and none of my own arcane protections functioned. They blocked them, somehow. If the storm hadn't raged out of control, I'd be dead now. Of course. I'm not an archmage, but I know my way around a spell or two. They must have had... Whatever it was, the bastards rendered every enchanted item we had useless. Absolutely. Tamriel is changing and her leaders must adapt. The situation in Cyrodiil right now, I can't see a way forward. Perhaps these talks represent a solution. I'm always in favor of people sitting down to have an earnest conversation. I'll be fine. I just need a moment. Sea elf magics are always so particular. This little beauty will help us immensely, you'll see. This is the spot, but no Emmerich. That man is infuriating. This complicates the situation. Let's talk. Emmerich isn't here, but he left behind a number of green serpents. For a man of his advanced years, he can still swing a powerful sword. It was a well-planned and dastardly attack. I could sense the magical nature of the summoned storm, and none of my own arcane protections functioned. They blocked them, somehow. If the storm hadn't raged out of control, I'd be dead now. Of course. I'm not an archmage, but I know my way around a spell or two. They must have had agents aboard as well, because I sensed a pulse of magicka before the storm hit. Whatever it was, the bastards rendered every enchanted item we had useless. Absolutely. Tamriel is changing and her leaders must adapt. The situation in Cyrodiil right now, I can't see a way forward. Perhaps these talks represent a solution. I'm always in favor of people sitting down to have an earnest conversation. Emmerich isn't here, but he left behind a number of green serpents. For a man of his... Emmerich is nothing if not reliable. Look at the way the dead serpents are laid out. Isn't it obvious? He left a trail to follow. It leads directly into the cave just up the path. Go ahead and look for him. I'll be along shortly. The poultices should have done their job by now, so I want to go back and retrieve Casca. We will want her strength at our side before this is over. And she needs to be nearby when you signal for the rescue ship. Don't worry about me. If I could survive the politics of Somerset, I can handle an inhospitable island. I'll retrieve Casca and we'll meet up with you in a bit. It was a well-planned and dastardly attack. I could sense the magical nature of the summoned storm, and none of my own arcane protections functioned. They blocked them somehow. If the storm hadn't raged out of control, I'd be dead now. Of course. I'm not an archmage, but I know my way around a spell or two. They must have had agents aboard as well, because I sensed a pulse of magicka before the storm hit. Whatever it was, the bastards rendered every enchanted item we had useless. Absolutely. Tamriel is changing and her leaders must adapt. The situation in Cyrodiil right now, I can't see a way forward. Perhaps these talks represent a solution. I'm always in favor of people sitting down to have an earnest conversation.
I hope we find more than trouble here.
You there! I'm begging you. There was a shipwreck. The others need help.
I don't want to hurt you, but now I'm going to. Don't like your odds. still here. Thanks for asking.
Coral will feed on your life.
Well, no, I guess it wouldn't. Maybe they should try that.
Serpents to fight. Good. I'm just getting started. You don't appear to be one of these green serpent ruffians. Since you're the first person I've encountered in this damn jungle who isn't trying to kill me, let's assume we're going to be friends. I'm High King Emmerich. Pleasure to make your acquaintance. Lady Arabelle, you say? How is the dear woman? She and I have shared quite a few close calls over the years. But she only sent you? I assumed I merited at least a dozen knights or so. Ah, well, I assume you have a way to get us off this damn island. Ah, you've seen Irene. And she's still alive? Good. Do you know, I was looking for young Ernskar when these serpents rushed out and tried to toss me in that cage. I showed them. But I think they may have captured our wayward Nord prince. I half expected to find our young Nord prince sitting atop a pile of dead serpents, but no such luck. Let's take a look around and see if we can find anything that points to where the serpents might be holding Uren's pup. Come to think of it, I also heard these serpents mention a captured noble. I suppose that's what whoever's behind this told them. No reason to reveal we're royals. Instantly raises the bounty. I really wish I'd taken one of them prisoner, though. What does a High King do? Everything and nothing, or so it seems some days. I lead the Daggerfall Covenant, I rule over High Rock, and I attend meetings. So many meetings. Any other questions before more of these serpents show up? Over my strenuous objections, honestly. I was Earl of Cumberland. Before King Gardner died, he dropped dead of the Nahartan flu, and suddenly I was crowned King of Wayrest. Haven't had a decent night's sleep since. That's a good question. Yoren the Scald King was invited, of course, but the official response we got out of Mournhold was short and sweet. His son would negotiate on the Pact's behalf. Not for me. I have heard that Ernscar is something of a royal pain in the arse. But aren't we all, to some extent? Perhaps Yoren is using this as a training exercise. If Ernscar doesn't make matters worse, maybe he'll learn something. Look around. Ernscar was here before they moved him. I'm sure of it.
Fights like a giant.
That sounds like Ernst. The Scald King's axe. Let's find Queen Irene, shall we? All that dead lout had was this bottle of wine. Ugh! Sour. Is there no joy on this damned island? Yeah, if I were to break an ankle making this jump, Queen Maria would kill me. I'll go around. I'll meet you outside.
You there! I'm begging you. There was a shipwreck. The others need help.
Good to see you still well, Emmerich.
And you, Irene. Nice, cat. I say, friend, let's chat. I washed up alone, and now I'm surrounded by allies. At least, allies for the nonce. It's funny how fate can change in a moment, eh? Let's talk about the things we found in the cave. What does a High King do? Everything and nothing, or so it seems some days. I lead the Daggerfall Covenant, I rule over High Rock, and I attend meetings. So many meetings. Any other questions before more of these serpents show up? Over my strenuous objections, honestly. I was Earl of Cumberland. Before King Gardner died, he dropped dead of the Nahartan flu, and suddenly I was crowned King of Wayrest. Haven't had a decent night's sleep since. That's a good question. Yoren the Scald King was invited, of course, but the official response we got out of Mournhold was short and sweet. His son would negotiate on the Pact's behalf. Not for me. I have heard that Ernskar is something of a royal pain in the arse. But aren't we all, to some extent? Perhaps Yoren is using this as a training exercise. If Ernskar doesn't make matters worse, maybe he'll learn something. I washed up alone, and now I'm surrounded by allies. At least, allies for the nonce. It's funny how fate can change in a moment, eh? Let's talk about the things we found in the cave. Right. Mentions taking their captive noble to the coin fort. That has to be Prince Ernskar. Amenos used to be a stronghold for High Rock slave traders, but that was many years ago. There's a crumbling old ruin just west of here. A long time ago, yes. Not something the Covenant sanctions today, but you're missing the pertinent point. The Green Serpent Gang is using the old coin fort as a hideout, and they're holding Prince Ernskar there. We did indeed. There are songs sung about that weapon. Literally. Yoren performed one of them the last time we shared company. We must return it to the prince when we find him. Anyway, our course seems clear. We make for the coin fort to the west. Don't worry about me. I'll meet you at the coin fort. It's just west of here, if I remember my maps. I'll just spend the walk thinking about the choices I've made. A little retrospective. What does a High King do? Everything and nothing, or so it seems some days. I lead the Daggerfall Covenant. I rule over High Rock, and I attend meetings. So many meetings. Any other questions? When Rancer challenged my rule, an alliance seemed a prudent course for a quick resolution. Luckily, it was still in place when the Empire collapsed. The Covenant represents a return to the ideals of the past, and, I believe, our best hope for peace. Being the eldest son of a noble house, I was trained to lead, though not necessarily to be a king. My father sent me to the best teachers. I particularly remember studying under Count Ravenwatch, a brilliant man, and still a good friend. To the coin fort. Shall we journey there together, Irene?
Casca will run ahead and clear the path. I'll see you at the fort. Do try to keep pace with Casca, Emmerich. She'll keep you safe.
And she's gone again. Don't worry about me. I'll just take her away.
This looks ripe for adventure. Maybe a tad overripe.
You there! I'm begging you. There was a shipwreck. The others need help.
Keep your guard up until you've got your footing.
Truth be told, this is one of the most relaxing diplomatic missions I've had in quite some time.
Walker, we need to talk. Bright moons shine upon us, Walker. Before you arrived, I did some sniffing. A scent like the one that lingers on that axe you found. It's inside the Coin Lord's old fort. I'd bet Zaji's left ear that it's Prince Ernskar. Queen Irene suggests subterfuge. They seek the nobles. Let's give them one. In a word, yes, Pretend Emmerich is your prisoner. Escort him to the front gate and wait for them to let you in. Meanwhile, the Queen and I will await your signal. After we free Ernskar, we'll find a place to signal the rescue ship.
The High King most definitely, agrees. Lead on, my foul captor.
Come, Casca. Let's see how much trouble we can get into.
If you insist.
They captured one of the nobles. You, bring that prisoner inside at once. Sentry, unlock the gate!
I'll draw the serpents out. Be ready.
Hands off, you bastard!
That's one of the nobles Dishchi wants.
High King Emmerich is no one's prisoner!
Steady, my friend.
Attack!
And I will cause a distraction. Go find Prince Ernskar.
You're watching.
The Ascendant Order won't make good on their promise if he's dead, Netchbrat.
I assume this is a rescue? The King's Arrow? Is that really you, my friend? Where you fly, victory is sure to follow. But what are you doing here? How did you find me? So all 3 Alliance delegates still live. Good. As soon as I came ashore, I was set upon by the serpents. I made the bastards pay. But even the son of Uren, the Skull King, can't fight an entire prison gang on his own. There were too many of them. Sungir, axe of the Skull King. Ah, it feels good to cradle you in my arms again, you powerful blade. But we can't go yet. The Serpent said that something called the Ascendant Order is behind us. Their leaders, the Lord and Magus, are here. And we will, after we deal with the Ascendant Order leaders. Emmerich would agree, and so would Irene. Come, friend. We can deal with these traitors in one fell swoop. With Sungir once more in hand, I feel better already. Let's find this Ascendant Lord and his Magus. I want to show them what it means to attack a Nord warrior. Someone was going to ask that eventually. Publicly, Uren wants me to step up. The Pact is a sprawling alliance facing threats from all sides. The Skull King has many responsibilities. This is his way to finally allow me to share his burdens. Privately, the old goat is someone warming his bed at night, and refuses to stray too far from home. She's a lovely Riften lass, Brunhilde. My father's never been happier. He was only too eager to let me travel in his stead and represent the Pact. Hope is for poets, like my father. I am a warrior. One does not shy from battle at the first sign of danger. Even if nothing is gained from these conversations, Emmerich, Irene, and I shall be the ones who decide when to quit the field. Curious about the Prince of Windhelm, are you? What do you want to know? I have nothing to hide. You don't know the story? How our three disparate peoples came together to repel the Akaviri invaders? I haven't always thought so, but I believe the Nords, the Dark Elves, and the Argonians are truly stronger together. I've seen it firsthand. A personal question. My relationship with the Skull King is complex. He loves the chance to teach lessons, to pass on his tales. But he is still disappointed that I can't sing, forever denying him that father-son duet he's always dreamed of. My role? I've been a prince my entire life. My youth was not unlike yours, I imagine. I hunted, I fought, and I learned my lessons. I bathed in the frigid waterfalls that crash from the high peaks, and wrestled with wolves for sport. The usual. Someone was going to ask that eventually. Publicly, Uren wants me to step up. The Pact is a sprawling alliance facing threats from all sides. Privately, the old goat is... Hope is for poets, like my father. It feels good to be armed again. I've missed you, Sungir.
I'll get Irene and Casca. We'll wait for your signal.
I miss the pirate's life.
There. Let's listen in.
We will have your missing nobles by day's end, my lord.
See that you do. Magus, summon the Order. We meet on High Isle on the morrow.
Get down there!
My liege, we must go.
All right, but don't cry for mummy.
I won't allow you to escape.
Go ahead. Find a way outside so you can signal the ship. I need a moment. Guess I'm not as recovered as I thought.
You switch!
I can see the ocean. That's a good place to use your signal. Shore's home. Let's see that light all the way back in Wilhelm. Let's get to the dock.
Hold them at bay. The elf rituals are fickle things, but I shall quiet them.
I guess this is a fight now.
Attack!
Don't let them interrupt the queen.
No ship can reach us through this storm.
Patience, lad. Irene is working on that.
Wind, waves, and storms. Heed my call and still your fury.
It's working!
I don't believe it. She actually did it.
Onto the ship, quickly.
We got them all! Even Casca! Friend, give the word and Saji will have you back at Mandrake Manor before you know it!
The Ascendant Magus and his lord are cowards. Neither would stand and fight. They call themselves knights? Hardly. At least we heard their plans. A meeting on High Isle, we heard the Ascendant Lord say. You mean aside from being half-drowned and captured by a prison gang? I fought in many battles, worked at my father's side, and I have started knitting. One of the grands at the castle has been teaching me. Says it's good for my temperament. If you put a blade to my neck and ask me to explain Al-Sav, the tribunal, I'd probably go down in a spray of blood. I read in the reports you were there. Saved a god, stopped a rock from the heavens. Stand it fair for you. I can only imagine. Father introduced me to the tribunal. When Lord Vivek spoke, it was like the chimes of the universe sounding in my ears. And so the seal... I'm not so sure about that one. Al-Malexia is all right, though. Intense, but all right.
A daring rescue, a clean escape. Well done, my friend. I can't wait to tell Queen Maria all about it. I kept busy, if that's what you're asking. We made our way around the fort and kept the bulk of the Serpent's forces occupied. Casca was a real champion. She cut down 3 ruffians for every one that Irene or I dealt with. For all their rhetoric, it's clear that the Ascendant Order doesn't want the war in Cyrodiil to end, at least not with one of us on the throne. They're the worst kind of evil, a malicious greed masquerading as a benevolent purpose. A daring rescue, a clean escape? That's a good question. Yoren the Scald King was invited, of course, but the official response we got out of Mournhold was short and sweet. His son would negotiate on the Pact's behalf. Not for me. I have heard that Ernskar is something of a royal pain in the arse. But aren't we all, to some extent? Perhaps Yoren is using this as a training exercise. If Ernskar doesn't make matters worse, maybe he'll learn something. What does a High King do? Everything and nothing, or so it seems some days. I lead the Daggerfall Covenant, I rule over High Rock, and I attend meetings. So many meetings. Any other questions before more of these serpents show up? Being the eldest son of a noble house, I was trained to lead, though not necessarily to be a king. My father sent me to the best teachers. I particularly remember studying under Count Ravenwatch, a brilliant man, and still a good friend. Over my strenuous objections, honestly. I was Earl of Cumberland. Before King Gardner died, he dropped dead of the Nahartan flu, and suddenly I was crowned King of Wayrest. Haven't had a decent night's sleep since. When Rancer challenged my rule, an alliance seemed a prudent course for a quick resolution. Luckily, it was still in place when the Empire collapsed. The Covenant represents a return to the ideals of the past, and I believe, our best hope for peace.
As depressing as it sounds, that's the most fun I've had in months. To be honest, I wasn't sure the ritual would work. If it hadn't, let's assume Zaji could have navigated through the storm and reached us anyway. Yeah, let's go with that. Royal duties in Eldenroot are as frustrating as ever, but the Dominion holds strong. There's been so much strife just in the few years I've been queen. Is it wrong to hope peace might one day surround the Eagle Banner? Thank you. Some days I fear all this death and pain will be for nothing. But in times like these, times that challenge every belief we have, we must stand together. That's why the Dominion was founded, and why we will claim victory in the end. It was a well-planned and dastardly attack. I could sense the magical nature of the summoned storm, and none of my own arcane protections functioned. They blocked them somehow. If the storm hadn't raged out of control, I'd be dead now. Of course. I'm not an archmage, but I know my way around a spell or two. They must have had agents aboard as well, because I sensed a pulse of magicka before the storm hit. Whatever it was, the bastards rendered every enchanted item we had useless. Absolutely. Tamriel is changing, and her leaders must adapt. The situation in Cyrodiil right now, I can't see a way forward. Perhaps these talks represent a solution. I'm always in favor of people sitting down to have an earnest conversation. They say these are the times that try a mer's soul, but I want to believe I've risen to the occasion. Our first adventure together feels like a lifetime ago, though, doesn't it? If I'm to be stuck on a jungle island with anyone, I'm glad it's you. I was as well. That business was ghastly, and I thank you for your help. Meanwhile, I was stuck in yet another interminable meeting at Eldenroot. I can assure you, Daedric princes or no, you were having more fun than I was. I'm sorry. You met Elwynari at a very difficult time. She's actually a lovely person and she has a brilliant mind. I desperately wish I could have been there to lend my aid. And my sword arm. I don't get to unsheath my sword nearly enough. I swear, that eye of mine, he gets friskier and friskier with each passing day. Our last conversation was not about matters of state or threats to my security, but about the meritorious backside of a Gratwood emissary. Riveting. I sent him on ahead to prepare the way, but who knows where that cat has gotten to. I promised there would be no trouble, that all the secrecy and careful planning would make the voyage uneventful. Stars above, I'll never hear the end of it now.
We got them all! Even Casca! Friend, give the word and Zaji will have you back at Mandrake Manor before you know it! Zaji's ship was closest when the signal flare ignited. Do you like it? I call it the perfect pounce, too! Anyway, Zaji is supposed to get you back to Mandrake Manor as quick as he can. Just give the order, and we'll leave these dreadful shores. Zaji's ship was close. Zaji's ship was closest when the signal flare ignited. Do you like it? I call it the perfect pounce.
As depressing as it sounds, that's the most... Between Emmerich and I, absolutely. As depressing as it sounds, that's the most fun I've had in...
Zaji's ship was closest when the signal flare ignited.
Thank you, Walker. It's good to feel my claws on the deck of a ship again. And it's good to be back with Zaji. That lazy Khajiit is lost without me.
A daring rescue, a cleanest.
The Ascendant Magus and his lord. Of course. But you must tell her what I'd learned while I was a cap. Truly? As sure as we made it. Let's move! I want to get off this wretched...
Ah, nice to be back in the city. Lady Arabelle wants you back at Mandrake Manor, friend. I'll see you there.
It's tired of walking anyway.
Well?
Walker, Lady Arabelle wants to see you in the courtyard, out back.
Well, here comes our hero now. Well done, my dear.
Excellent. Who wants a drink? The Prince of Windhelm is buying.
Hold fast there, lad.
We're safe for now, but the battle's just begun.
Good work finding the Alliance leaders and getting them off Amanos safely. I'm quite proud of you, my dear. Lord Bacaro and I will spirit them to a more secure location shortly. Then we can turn our attention back to the Ascendant Order. So Prince Ernskar told me. We'll get to that. First, you need to rest, and I need to make sure our royal guests remain safe. For now, take this. As long as I can count on you, there's more where that came from. Good work finding the... So Prince Ernskar... Thanks to you, the royals have finally reached High Isle. While the Ascendant Order has lost their prizes, they remain a threat. Once the Ascendant Lord and his magus learn the Alliance leaders are here, they will stop at nothing to reach them. Lord Bacaro and I have a secure place. They'll be safe enough there. So far, we've been on the defensive, reacting to events. The time has come to take the fight to the Ascendant Order, and my plan starts with this meeting you heard about on Amanos. And I think I know how to determine where this assemblage will take place. While you were away, I received reports of Ascendant Order activity at Mistmouth Cave. I propose we investigate, and if luck is with us, catch ourselves a lord and a magus. Mistmouth Cave lies on the northern coast of High Isle. It's a favorite of outlaws and pirates. I'll meet you there. I need to go over some details with Jakan one more time. Things tend to go in one ear and out the other with that one, you know. Not as safe as they could be. Lord Bacaro, Valesi, and I arranged for the Mages Guild to protect the conference site on All Flags Islet with powerful defensive spells. I'll rest easier with the delegates safely behind those wards. That's our hope. Now that the Alliance leaders are here and safe, they just need a little time to recover from their ordeal. And we need to make sure the Ascendant Order no longer poses a threat. Worried about me? Oh, pish-posh. I was dealing with brigands, trolls, and threats to the realm since well before Rancer launched his ill-fated little war. There's nothing in this archipelago that I can't handle. But thanks for your concern, dear. I know the feeling. I couldn't keep it all straight without my notebooks. The Ascendant Order wants to kill the leaders of the three alliances. They sent a storm to sink the ships carrying them here for the peace conference. That's correct, dear. And while you were rescuing Prince Ernskar, you overheard the Ascendant Lord tell the Magus to summon the Order to a meeting on High Isle. We're going to follow up on that and figure out where this meeting will take place.
Why must we sit on our hands? The Dominion can crush the Ascendant Order with one fell blow.
I will not allow the Dominion to land warriors on Breton shores. The Daggerfall Covenant will handle this matter.
Summon your fleets and I will leave. The Ebonheart Pact will not negotiate under threat of attack.
Patient.
There. I recharged the medallions. They can be returned to the delegates.
What a strange magic.
I will accompany Jakar and make sure that Prince Ernskar and the others reach the secure location safely. The Ascendant Order won't get the better of me again.
Did you see the Colossus fall? I was here at this counter. I didn't see it for myself.
No ghosts haunt my room?
To be on the prowl, standing tall, spit in the face of life's final call. And we loved folks on shore. When we're gone, many drinks they'll pour, for the waters deep and stormy sea cold, as life sinks into the blackness below the hold. So raise a toast with a mug in your hand to those we lost and ones waiting on land. Our bodies may be consigned to the foamy depths, but it's better than hearing our beloved sad breaths. We set sail without explore. For when life's over and work's at end, I'm pleased to call these sailors my friends. Dance free with exultation, a fear in no one's wrath. Stone's firmness set below us, her waters spring forth free. Blue skies alight with sunfire, bowed into blessings three. Blessings of Ephraim, blessings of Ephraim, blessings of Ephraim. Settle deep within you, a blessing from the stone. Lean wisely into changes, let waters bless your home. Life's answers, seek your questions, sky's blessing as you roam. Let nature lead you onward, three boons upon you sown. Blessings of Ephraim, blessings of Ephraim, blessings of Ephraim.
Can't lift those stairs like I used to. Maybe I can work the kitchen instead.
Gather round, ye lads and lasses, listen far and wide, for across the...
Hello. Did you happen to be looking for work?
Jobs available.
This will keep you out of Emunara's fur until she gets the shield.
I'd swallow her.
Trevor, may I ask a favor?
This will keep you out of Emunara's fur until she gets the shield.
I don't like the looks of that volcano. As if we didn't have enough trouble already. Could this be related to what Valencia and you discovered at the Druidic Circle? Could the Ascendant Magus really affect the volcano to such an extent? That's true. The ground rumbled when he summoned a storm at the castle. And the volcanic vents became active after he conjured the storm that wrecked the Alliance ships. There was no storm this time, though. Absolutely nothing, dear. But Mount Firesong hasn't erupted in centuries. The Druids maintain its slumber. Let's hope they can keep it calm until we stop the Magus from drawing more power. In the meantime, let's look inside Mistmouth Cave, shall we? Anything that points us to the Order's upcoming meeting. If the Ascendant Magus sent out a summons, someone here should know about it. And keep watch for anything else of importance. You never know what clue will be the one to solve the mystery. Mount Firesong is the volcano that rises above the island of Iphelon. You can see it in the distance. It's always been restless, and its vents and hot springs stretch throughout the archipelago. I didn't think too much about the initial rumbles. The Stone Lord Druids administer to the vents here on High Isle, but the Firesong Circle controls Iphelon. Outsiders aren't welcome there, and I've never seen one of their druids. They say the Firesongs work to keep the volcano appeased.